Good morning,
Good
everyone.
morning.
How are you?
Again. Good morning. Welcome.
Good morning. How are you?
I'm fine. Good to see
Are
you.
you? Good to
Yeah,
see you.
I am. I am. No, I just said that. Here we are. Everything and nothing.
And nothing,
Finding the extraordinary in the ordinary.
for the
That's how
most part.
good of everyday life and
Your
strife.
crazy thing, you just paused. So, could be a weather thing right now. I don't know.
Oh, the weather. Yeah, it was. We got hit last night. Maybe we were chatting and storm kind of swept through. Did it sweep by over by you like a
Yeah,
big
it
wind?
did. It actually, when we were on the phone and I told you I saw whatever, I actually got up afterwards. I had woke up my husband and I had said, it's pouring outside because then I started to hear it. And when I went to go look, I was like, oh shoot. It was like it was coming down. Didn't last long, but when he went to work, it did not cool off anything. The temperature did drop a little bit.
Yeah.
It did not cool off nothing. When I walked out to the hallway, it smacked us right in the face. Like worse than it was earlier, literally. When we
Um,
opened up the front door, I was like, "Oh my God." It was horrible.
it just took a little bit of the edge off, but not much. I mean, the biggest thing here was the wind. I mean, it knocked
Wasn't
stuff
that
all over.
windy here?
Oh my God, knocked stuff all over. I was out there actually a little bit this morning trying to pick, furniture off, the lawn, and one of my neighbors blew onto my backyard. He was passed out in the yard. I had to take him home. It just was a mess. There's people everywhere, dogs up in the trees and stuff. But
How did
you
you
know,
take him home? Did you drag him or did you lift him over your shoulders and
no, I dragged him
carry
by
him
his
home?
foot, and just kind of carried him along, and just dumped him on the neighbor's porch. But yeah, there was just stuff everywhere. Chairs out on the lawn, and I'm getting stuff out of the grass. And interesting thing, I'm pulling stuff out of the grass. I came across some poison ivy, and then next to it was a 4-leaf clover. Like, wow! So I had a rash of good luck. Anyway, so and
All right, people. I must
you
point this
apologize,
out
right?
there. I have to apologize for him. He's cute. He is. He's very cute. But I know him a little bit more, so I knew something was coming. And then either I'll laugh out loud or I'm like,
Please forgive.
last night he did the same thing. And I was like, no.
No. All right. Well,
Cute, but
no, I remain undaunted. I will continue.
what was it
So,
about? You said, by the way, Amazon and that cottage cheese.
oh yeah, I discovered that cottage cheese in reality is it's not real cheese. So it occurred to me. Oh, come on, gotta laugh a little.
Okay. People, really?
Help me. All right, click, delete, move on. No,
All
so
right, seriously, but listen, let's get out of
we
the
talked about.
crazy
Yeah,
joking things. We did discuss a little something last night that I
we
was
did.
curious about, and I looked it up a little bit.
Hmm.
And it's the question is would you pay to attend someone's wedding,
Hmm.
whether it's a family member or a friend?
Right.
The trend now is people are being charged
Yeah.
a ticket price
Yeah, you
to
got to pay a
attend the
ticket
wedding.
to a wedding. Yeah.
And they say planning a wedding has become so expensive that
Hmm.
some couples are asking their guests to pay to attend their special day. There's someone, his name is Hassan Ahmad. He's 23 years old. He is charging his guests $450 for a ticket to attend his wedding next
Right.
year in Houston, where he lives.
Right.
Mr. Ahmad said he hadn't heard back from many of his 125 wedding guests. I wonder why.
I'm not
Now,
going.
what I'm curious about is that I've seen another couple charged to $333 a guest, but something was said that they were specifying who to charge their guests the amount of money to attend. And if they come, fine. Those that really they know can't afford it will attend, but will be able to enjoy all the, I don't get that either. That's not fair. That's number one.
Yeah.
And I want to know. Now, is that a ticket just to get in, or is that because I'm covering the cost of my plate and some of the decorate, whatever? Am I
That's not
covering the
clear.
cost?
And yeah, that's not clear. And I think the implication is no, because they're with the cost of the weddings, they want to put obviously more money in their pocket. But I think the problem is you're turning your guests into customers.
Exactly. And how
And
are
that's
they
terrible.
even like, how is that even a, I don't understand how that, now, wait a minute, it didn't specify that. Because my point is when you have a wedding, whatever it costs per plate, you would hope that you would get that back at least to cover the, the
Right.
cost.
But to
That
make that
plate,
mandatory, that's, you know,
right, that's just for the hall. That has nothing to do with the flowers and the dress and the clothes and the little trinkets and the favors, and that's a separate cost. So do you calculate it and say, all right, well, the dish was $180 or $200 or whatever a person. And then the rest of the thing was 20, and then you break it down to how many people. So you add that into the, now are you, like I said, 425, 450, 500, $600 for a ticket to attend. So you're telling me that I also have to put money in an envelope?
I think there are people that will do that. I think maybe people won't, but I think either way, it's not only is it a bad look, it's wrong. It's greedy.
It's
You know, you don't
ludicrous.
have to have. I know everybody wants the fairy tale wedding, and you know it's all about the bride. Often people say you're queen for a day, and I get it. But the extravagance, you know, when it takes over the meaningfulness of you know the wedding day. But the problem is you're not going to overcome people's vanity and their ego. That's always going to win out. You know,
Right.
what's the saying? You know, everybody loves a wedding, but it's the marriage that's the difficult part. You know, and I've been married 35 years. No, but 45. So,
No, you haven't. Stop lying. I'll be married 25 years.
right.
Kill me.
But, you know, when I was doing weddings, you know, years ago, more as an officiant, you know, I did, you know, hundreds of weddings in a year. You know, back in the 90s, and in New Jersey, you know, where I live, you know, the catering halls, if you bought one of those bridal magazines that advertise all the catering halls in the state, there probably were about most, maybe a couple hundred most. But now if you pick up a magazine or look online, it's probably triple that.
Yeah.
Catering halls and what they charge and the price per plate. And then again, they're adding all these extras now, and you're if you hire, you know, more expensive entertainment, you know, and there's so many things that they do now that are just so, you could say, maybe over the top. But uh, again, you want something special, you want something memorable, and not taking away from that at all. Of course, it's one of the most important days
Could you do me
of
one
couple.
favor? I hate to put this on pause and I hate to do this to my audience, but I got to get up really fast. Is that okay?
I'll hold on.
Could you, what? Could you keep
I'll
talking?
I'll sing a song. They
You
don't
do what
understand.
you have to do. You
Anyway,
keep talking.
so I'm gonna keep talking.
Keep
So we'd like
talking
to hear
about
you.
the wedding. You're talking to the audience.
We'd like to hear your thoughts about this as well. Um, Maybe you've done this. You've charged people tickets to attend your wedding. Um, how did that go? Was it something you would recommend? You would do again? You would not do again? What kind of feedback did you receive from guests, you know, your family and friends? Personally, I don't think it's the right thing to do. Like I said, you're turning your guests into customers. You want a wedding, plan according to your budget. There's more ways to be creative, inventive, and still have a meaningful wedding day. Will most people, you know, adhere to that? No. because there's just that I think in a lot of ways it's big business and people the business is getting bigger and bigger. It's not getting smaller. I had a very small wedding, you know, only I was there. No, but I in all the hundreds of weddings that I have performed, I can remember maybe just on a handful, maybe the ones that really stuck out. And it wasn't anything about the location, anything about, the decorum, it's what they brought to the ceremony, and the meaningfulness that they, and how those treasured moments of being together, saying their vows, talking to each other, professing their love, and their commitment. That's what makes it, and the people that are there. But again, we live in a world where it's show, and it's money, and it's glitz, and it's
It's
bling.
ridiculous because God forgive me, but the majority of the people, the past 10 years especially, they have these big elaborate weddings. They pay thousands upon thousands of dollars. And they don't even stay married. Nobody hardly stays married today. So
It's definitely more difficult. I mean, listen, I remember 20 years ago, I remember with one bride, you know, did a wedding up in northern Jersey, $100,000.
yeah, oh yeah.
One
Oh, I know.
hundred thousand dollars,
I know.
and again, people have that money, they want to splurge, they want to spend. I mean, God, you could take half that and give it to charity, do more
Literally.
good. But people don't think that way.
And the funny thing is everybody makes mistakes. Today, I really don't know how people do it, but God bless them. I mean, I do know how
But getting
most people
married,
do it. Yeah. But I remember being young, and I wasn't that young when I got married. I wasn't that old, but I wasn't that young. Compared to my family, like my sisters got married young, 18, and I waited till I was 26. Um, we were told, why don't you take that money and put a down payment on a house? Why don't you
right?
take that money and put a down payment on the house? Have something small, have it this, have it that, blah, 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 blah. And I wanted the wedding, and for me, I didn't have my dad to walk me down the aisle, and that was something that I wanted. My dad passed away when I was 19, so that never happened. And okay, whatever, we figured it out. I had my mother and my godfather walk me down the aisle. Okay. I had the wedding, had help from his parents that, they offered us, what do you want us to do? You want us to buy you a bedroom set? Do you want us to buy you furniture for the house? Or would you want to let's give you money towards the hall? And we chose that because it was hard. I lost my job. Again, another wonderful thing happens to the Barb. I lost my job 2 months before I was getting married.
Hmm.
So, but we did everything possible. We had a gorgeous wedding. Do I regret it? Yes. Getting married. Oh, no. Yes. Well, sometimes no. But seriously. Do I regret having that big wedding? Yes, because you're a kid, you're stupid, you want the big glamour and the wedding gown, and I could have had that. I could have got married in church, could have went back to the house, because now when I see all of that, I'm like, wow, that looked like it was so much fun. When we had house parties, house birthday parties, the liquor, the family, the food, we had the best time. We
Right.
even attended some weddings, which they called football weddings.
Hmm.
Don't know if you ever heard of that.
I did weddings where the couples were dressed up in football jerseys.
Well, that's different. But football
Those are
weddings
real
years
fans.
ago, football weddings years ago were like just you had your booze, you had your party, but you had sandwiches. You had
Yeah.
sandwiches, you had potato chips and pretzels and nothing crazy, and everyone had the best time.
Yeah.
And it wasn't expensive. You didn't need all the elaborate shit. Everybody got together, laughed, sang, danced, got drunk, talked about it for forever till today. And that was it. It didn't cost but a couple of $100 maybe. And even that back then,
Well,
when you
again,
had
so
that was
you're
elaborate.
touching on the most important point, and I guess here's the balancing point of view here. It's the quality of the experience, with the bride and groom, the families and the guests. Well, can people have a great time with an extravagant wedding? Of course, I've done them. I've seen the experience. But I think this will. I'm probably correct in saying this. This mostly focuses on people who have a lot of money.
Hmm.
They're going to get married in the cathedral. They're going to hire you know,
Right.
a rap singer to sing,
Right.
at the wedding, and stuff that they find, God, I've heard people renting Madison Square Garden for bar mitzvahs and stuff, and
Exactly. And that's
so
another
that you
thing. A
can really,
wedding is a wedding. You're going to do this
once in a
for,
lifetime, you think you're going to do it, but more often than not, and again, from being in the wedding business in terms of an officiant, I've seen the bigger you have, the more stress that you can take on, and trying to manage it. And then you're going to hire out, of course, a wedding consultant or a coordinator to handle everything,
if you
which is
want to,
usually,
right. I mean,
you
that's
know,
more money.
of
Exactly.
course, but if when money's no object, I think it just naturally focuses on the externals because that's what you're buying. You're not
Right.
buying the experience. That's what you bring to it, but you're just buying all the accoutrements. You're buying all the outer,
Right. And a lot of people today,
things.
they have to top the next person because that one got married and oh my God, now they have to go out and go, well, I'm gonna do
Yeah, there's a
because a lot
lot of
of
that.
people are
There's
selfish that way. They have to like do something better to top their wedding.
yeah, to,
Stupid.
outdo, compete, keep up with the
Stop
Joneses.
the outdoing bullshit. I mean, it's you know what? People do it now. I can't even begin to tell you what they do for first birthdays. Sweet 16s, communions. I'm like, are you kidding me?
Well, let's look at it maybe. What is it about this trend in here we are, and what is this, 2024? That has made this become so much more almost like we could say out of control, or so over the top. I mean, what is it that I mean, of course the internet has changed, our lives forever, you know,
Drastically.
just like, the the television did, or even other things, the automobile, what it does to people in the world, how they interact, how they
Hmm.
relate, and our sphere of influence has become so much more greater yet smaller at the same time. And
Right.
so how does that affect, this type of, what do you call it? The need for extravagance, the need to be showy. Um, you know, what is it that really drives that? It's like, I'm important, I'm special, I matter so much. Look what I have, or look what I deserve. I mean, I have to think some of those things kind of go into it. Um,
I guess,
but
but
and I remember seeing some of these brides. Sometimes I would stay at for the reception. Sometimes I wouldn't for the most time, because I would actually do a number of weddings in one day, so I had to go from one to the other, so I couldn't hang around a lot. But I remember the few that I stayed for because maybe I knew them a little bit more, or had the time or whatever. And I could remember on several occasions where the things are winding down, and I noticed like the bride would be sitting off in a chair, in a corner after the reception, and had these despondent looks, like just sitting there and just kind of looking around at it, people cleaning up the tables and just kind of, and I just was so struck by that, and
yeah,
it's like, wow, you know, after, I mean, I know you can be tired, you could be, but it was more
right.
that it wasn't just fatigue.
No,
It was a feeling of
I
disillusionment.
I
I saw.
remember as the bride and what I went through. And I remember basically doing the same thing at certain points during the night. Me and Tommy literally danced the entire night. We never ate. We sat down, we were taking pictures. The photographer was coming. We didn't have a chance. We were so overworked. I was up from 4 in the morning and
Right, I get that
it's
adds to it.
exciting. But I remember, like you said, looking and at one point, because one of my family members came over to me and said, "Are you okay?" And I was like, you find yourself in a daze because as you're looking around for that 5 minutes, whatever, you're watching everybody have a good time, watching the hall, the workers clean up or starting to serve another part of the and I say to myself, look what time it is. It's almost over. The year of preparation, the craziness, the fighting, the money, the
Like all
argument,
that for what?
all
All
of
that
that
for
for
this.
one day,
Yeah,
and we're
yeah,
having a great time. And now I'm kind of like sad because it's almost over.
yeah. Well, I remember going up to a couple of the brides because, obviously I saw them sitting there, so I would just maybe just to go see how you doing. And I
Right.
remember a couple of them just going, "I'm all right." Kind of like, but it
Yeah.
was it was more than just I'm tired. It was more like,
Yeah.
gee, that's all that is, huh?
Yeah. Yeah.
And now it's time to
True.
take off the gown that you're never going to wear again in your life, and
Mm-hmm. Yep.
put that into the
And
photo
my
albums, the memories.
my wedding, my gown was beautiful, and the people that took
Mine was
care
too.
of me, fu- the woman that took care of me, she's not in business anymore. I traveled back and forth to Pennsylvania
Oh,
because we went here to a specific place that was very well known. Tommy had worked for them many years ago when he was a young kid.
mm,
Um, I don't want to say it because I could, they're still in business, but they're somewhere, they're in the city now. They're very well known. They're all over the television. All the bigger people go to them.
hmm
And I remember even with him getting the break, I looked for my wedding gown in magazines. I used to take out, I still have my book that I saved clippings. Anyway, it was Moonlight. The company that made the gowns was Moonlight, and I fell in love with this gown. Long short of the story, went there. They had it on the rack already, tried it on. They were going to send it out, which was going to cost me more money. If I wanted that gown from them, they were giving me a discount at $5,000.
and
I couldn't.
that's and that's nothing what they spend on gowns. And we'll have to hasten to say this is
Wait,
not
I'm not finished. Could I talk?
no. Like I was saying, no, go
We
ahead.
only have a few minutes left. Um, the gown that I wanted, I knew I couldn't get it. I was like, forget it. I can't. I don't even know why I came here. And blah, 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 blah. Thank you, whatever. When we went to Pennsylvania and I found this place that looked amazing, her and her mother made me feel like the most beautiful woman in the world when I walked
Mhm,
in. That I walked in just nonchalantly and bought my veil first. They
mm,
just got them in. I fell in love with the veil. I bought my veil before I bought my gown.
mhm,
And she was like, "You got to come back. We're moving. We're getting a bigger place in Donmore, Pennsylvania, blah, blah, blah." Da, da. And we traveled. And when I went, I felt like a princess. And I've
mm,
never felt like that. A
right.
princess put me on the pedestal. She would not let me leave until we tried on a million gowns. I showed her the gown I wanted. I told her the story. She went, "Moonlight, hold on a minute." She had the gown.
Mm,
In my head, if I'm getting it at a discount at five from somebody that knows my house, what am I, what is she really going to do for me? It's not going to. And I said, I don't want to try it on because I did already. And she goes, "Girl, I want to see this gown on you." Da, 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 da. Tried it on. She goes, "Oh my God, you look stunning." Whatever. Blowing up, have champagne. We were doing the whole works. I was so overwhelmed with the
sure.
happiness. So I was like, "Yeah." So she goes, "You're going to take this one, right?" I was like, no, I can't. I said, she goes, "I just want you to know that it would cost you with this, that, whatever." The gown, they were ordering me a new gown. Now the other place was giving me the one off the rack
hmm
that was there for God knows how long.
Hmm.
She ordered me a new gown from Moonlight.
Hmm.
I bought gifts for our mothers, the jewelry, the earrings. They're expensive, some of the things. Some of the things I saw in other places, $100
Yeah.
for a fucking set of earring, whatever. Had my shoes done to match my gown. I still have my shoes. Bought my bustier from her. Had a pocketbook made from the seamstress. She was going to take the excess material that needed to be removed when the time comes. She was going to embroider so I could put my envelopes in there with the string. Had a pocketbook made specifically.
Hmm.
I got some jewelry. I bought my thigh-high stockings from there. I had all my undergarments from there. I don't even remember what else I got from her. I know there was a few things.
So how much?
$1,275
I was gonna say 2 grand. But see, that's amazing. I mean,
for everything.
and like the most important point you said was you felt like a princess, and that's what I wanted to add. We're not anti-wedding here, not anti-weddings, ceremony, and to feel like that, to feel beautiful, and those are things that, of course, are very, very uniquely special for a woman, which is a great
Right.
feeling, and it's a wonderful, of course, a lifetime of memories and experiences. Not knocking that. It's just I think the age old idea of don't put style before substance.
Right.
It's the substance first,
Right.
but it's always usually going to get overshadowed or eclipsed by, all
Exactly.
the outer things.
And we learn these things too late. Like there's a lot of shoulda, coulda, wouldas. Me and Tommy talk about it all
We
the
don't
time. We
know.
should have got the
If you would
house
have known,
instead of
you would have done
that.
different, but you didn't.
Right. We didn't. And I'm
Yeah,
not going to regret that part of it because I have the video that I finally got back. We
right,
look at it, we laugh. Half of the people that were there, they're gone.
right. But you have those memories.
But I got the memories. So,
Yes, exactly.
but
So
this is how the situation is. We're just curious, people. Would you pay to attend a family member or friend's wedding? And if you do, would you pay that much? Would you actually give a gift on top of it, or will you just pay for your ticket and go and enjoy the wedding? Because don't forget, it's not just about the ticket, it's not just about the gift. Everybody has to go buy outfits, get their hair done. It's more than just $500 a person or whatever.
or
So
would you pay
give
not to
us
go
your
to somebody's wedding?
feedback. Let us know
Yeah.
what you would do, and we would appreciate the feedback. And we thank you for
Mm.
joining in our show today.
Yes.
And
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
that's it. Until the next time, until our next subject, we will see you again. So
We'll be
thank you and
back.
have a wonderful day. We love you.
Thank you so much. Have a great
Mwah.
day. Till
You
next time.
too. Bye.
Bye bye. All right.
Stopped it.
We are stopping. All right.